Blast Gaming presents its biggest jackpot ever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited, I can't hide it. The new Blast jackpot rising, and I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive jackpot.
It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming.
Hello, my name is Marilys Rock, founder of Homebase Limited. Better known these days as the Thai Lady in Dominica. We are tile importers from various countries such as Italy, Brazil, Mexico, and China. We've been in the market for the past 18 years, and we've grown to be the #1 tile company in Dominica. I'd love to get it across that it's not just buying a tile because that's the amount of money you have left from the building. Tiles are the things used most in the house, and it's an investment you're putting your money into that should last you hopefully no less than 20 years. Our staff are well trained. The length of time they've been working in Homebase, some as much as 15 years. They have acquired knowledge which the ordinary person would not give an eye to, as to the texture of the tile, the warmth of the tile, the size of the tile, and the areas it's most suited for. Our main store is at 94 Independence Street, Roseau, and our warehouse is at Kinfield Industrial Site.
From the cradle to the grave, you don't have to be no slave. You need a loan you want to save. Welcome and visit us today. Hey, with a commitment to quality. Therefore you and me was one big family, but now it's a community. True. Making life easy, yes, like ABC. Don't matter who you are, you can benefit when you bring your mortgage.
With rates as low as 5% and loans for all your needs.
Open an MRA.
Save for your golden years and take advantage of our savings products.
We will finance your business.
Checking accounts, small business loans, wire transfers, and so much more.
MCCU all the way. Wow!
Your community financial partner.
NCCU.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
Welcome to the show. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Welcome to the show. It's so good to have you here again. Another Wednesday. We're getting ready for another spectacular guest. If you missed Monday, you missed the chef Jono, who was on the show on Monday. And today we have Jade Leatham is going to be joining us. It's so excited to have Jade on. Oh my God, Jade is a friend, so we might get carried away. So just get ready for that. Get ready for that because we're going to have a good time. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk. We're going to share. It's going to be a blast. I'm so excited to have her on here with me. I want to say a special good evening, good morning. It's morning somewhere, afternoon somewhere too, right? Good day to you and welcome again. My name is Jael Joseph and this is Jael Joseph Live, exclusive interviews, and of course brought to you through my most worthy sponsors. I want to say thank you very much to my sponsors, the National Cooperative Credit Union of Dominica, for financial your community financial health in that order. You gotta say it right. Okay, so make sure if you are thinking about, getting some cash or even just opening a savings account, check out the National Cooperative Credit Union. They have 5 branches in Dominica, so check them out today. Also, want to say a special thank you to Blast Gaming Center, that is the Dominica National Lottery. Thank you very much for being a sponsor. A new game on Blast, and make sure when you do enter at Blast, you check out the newest game. All right, check out the new game. Also, want to shout out a special shout out to Caribe. We always drinking Caribe. If we're not drinking tequila, we drinking Caribe. That's the period for. That is the things other things, but we only drink in Caribe, right? And also want to big up Home Base Limited. Of course, they are the tile gallery. When you look at the tiles, you need to think of Home Base out anywhere in the home. They got you completely covered, literally, right? Guys, we're getting ready for a show. Make sure you share the live. Let me know where you're logged in from. Drop your flag. Let me know where you're connected from. I still see you coming on. There are a few of you on YouTube. Good evening to those of you on YouTube. Good evening to those of you on LinkedIn. And those of you who are logged in on Facebook. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Welcome to the show. Let me turn on the volume a little bit. I find it a little bit loud for my liking. Yes, so we'll have an exciting show queued up for you here today. I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown. So tomorrow we're supposed to be doing my bi-weekly check-in. So those of you who've been following my weight loss journey, we're going to be doing that tomorrow. The review is tomorrow. So bi-weekly. So tune in for that tomorrow. I never tell people what time I come on because I literally come on based on how I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling bright, eyed and bushy till in the morning, I might just come on. Or if I just want to just come on, I just come on. So make sure if you're not following yet, if you're not subscribed, you subscribe, you follow, you like. Don't stay incognito, all right? So that you know exactly when I go live, so you can get all of the action, especially when it comes to the review on my weight loss journey. Okay. Good night, Lola. Thank you very much. Hi, Claudia. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Also on Friday, I will be doing a review of a product. I'll be doing a product review. So I want you guys, I'm going to be doing it live. I want you guys to tune in on Friday. Look out for that. It'll be my very first time, checking out the product and feeling out the product. So tune in for that. It's going to be fun. And next week, Monday, we have a show for you with the Relatable Podcast. Ladies from the Relatable Podcast. So Fiona and the entire gang, they're going to be stopping by. They're going to be reviewing Dominica. Let's just put it that way. They're going to be reviewing Dominica. So we're packed with reviews over the next couple of days. And thank you very much, Bernard, for the stars. Thank you much. Thank you. Guys, we're getting ready for the show. Jade is ready. I am ready. And it seems like some of you are ready. I see Bernard is here. The bell has rung. Come on down. Make sure you share the live when you come in. And let's get ready for an exciting show. So I don't even remember how I know Jade. How I know Jade now? She might be able to refresh my memory of how I know her on when we first met. I remember just interviewing her once a very long time ago on the radio. Is that where we met, Jade? She's shaking her head. Let's welcome to the show for the very first time the author, the award-winning author, the musician, the filmmaker, makes the noise, social love, to Jade.
Hey. You find me like how people finding $5 on the road.
How people find $5 on the road?
You just walk and you see the hey, watch that.
I'm not able with you. I am not able with you. I say that because normally, like whenever I introduce people on my show, I tend to say, I met them for a friend. I met them, and I'm like, when I said it, I was like, shit, when did I meet Jade?
Yeah, I think it was an interview like
Yes,
years ago,
you were doing an
and then
interview when you were with Breathe, I believe,
yes,
and
yes, yes, yes.
you were on radio. I think they were having some event somewhere.
Amen.
You were supposed scheduled to come on my show, and that is how we met. And I remember I asked you to sing for me. I asked you to sing that, Joe. Well, it's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Oh my
But
gosh. Yeah.
it's good to have you on the show. Welcome to the show.
I'm so excited. I
Oh
feel
my God.
honored.
Somebody said to me, somebody called me up, right? And they like, you haven't Jade. No, everybody who follows my show or follows me doesn't necessarily know about all of my guests because I would think that they come to learn about my guests, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like you haven't Jade. I didn't realize she was so accomplished. Like, bruh. And she's like, for Jade to reach on Jael Joseph live, Jade is accomplished. I was like,
Listen, I'm like, I made it, mom, world star.
I didn't realize people had the show on them kind of levels. But
Because yes,
I was like, oh, okay, all right.
I
like,
mean,
she was really like looking for words, and I'm like, Jade is very accomplished. Like, Jade not like me that like to brag about my shit,
yeah,
but
my
Jade.
manager does get vexed.
But you remember that conversation we had a little while ago when I said to you to
Yeah,
brag about your shit because
that's
you need
true.
you need to self promote. You
That's
don't
true.
you don't do it to the point of annoyance, but
Hmm.
or you're not doing it to rub it in people's faces.
Right.
But people always see all of the gold and the glitter and all of this, but it doesn't see the guaye. It doesn't see all the guaye that coming with it, right?
Listen, hmm.
So you need to every now and again, sprinkle a little gold dust.
Noted.
Sprinkle a little
Noted. I
gold
shall.
dust on them. Welcome to the show, Jade. It's lovely to have
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, guys.
and we're gonna get to know a little bit about you. Jade and I am letting y'all know, I'm putting out a disclaimer. We're two backsliders, so we might get on back. Jade, we both grew up in church and the same church, by the way. Like different,
Boy, hey, you're rough.
but same.
I mean, I just worship still. It's just
You doesn't congregate. He doesn't worship, but you don't
when only when I in Dominica. To be honest, yeah,
congregate. Well,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know a lot more than me because all I do is
yeah. Because I can't listen.
congregate.
Once my father not the pastor, where I going? I don't trust nobody but him. So
Wow. Period. Period. Jade, it's awesome having you. I want to, people are coming on and they're laughing. People hang on tight to their cash now. Money isn't found on the road anymore. So that's
oh
what,
my god,
that's what
that she find me pre-pandemic. She find me
pre-inflation,
area. Yeah,
COVID days,
yeah, man. I slide in.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Well, I know a lot about you, but I want my folks to know more about Jade and where you grew up, and so take us a little bit back to. I would like to probably put an age out there. Jade at 12. So
Jade
give
at
us
12
Jade at
was
12.
at
Wait.
Convent High School.
Jade at 12, but you're not
Mhm.
telling me where you were at 12. You're telling me, I'm asking you now as a 12-year-old about your life.
Ooh, a very strange child who spends her time playing guitar in the downstairs of her house because she wasn't allowed to watch TV, with big dreams of being a rock star and a writer. And yeah, that was really what at 12, like that's all I wanted to do was just make art. Make art and not seeing anybody around except maybe Michael Henderson doing what I wanted to do, and was just like, how is this gonna happen? Very good at school, very academically accomplished, but at the same time, like knowing I'm never going to be happy unless I am making beautiful things.
Wow. Wow. Facts, No money on streets now. People are agreeing with that person. No money.
Ella, it rough. Oh God.
No money on streets no more. So Jade, you were you an only child? Like telling me a little bit
Heck
about.
no, I have a bunch of brothers. And but I'm the only girl. I'm the only girl. But I will say, like, I have I lucked out in the family department. My parents are extremely supportive. My brothers love me and treat me well. I often tell people I don't feel like I lack anything internally because I was so nourished in love that I have a lot to give away. So hats off to my family. I always say the best things about me, I don't take credit for. It's my family. I learn a lot from my brothers, whether they're older or younger than me. And the best things about me are my parents. So yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so you were telling us that you were at convent at 12.
Hmm.
So where did you your first memory of school days? What was that like? Like obviously it was not convent at 12. You probably
No, it was Berean Christian Academy.
another Barian. So I had a Barian
Yes.
just a couple weeks ago.
For real.
Loic went to Barian.
Oh, hey, listen. I know they used to think we were strange, but it was one of the best schools, honestly.
Why did
It
they
was
think
best.
that was strange?
I don't know. People always feel these religious school kids are weird. And I mean, I wasn't doing much to dispel that theory. I kicked my shoe into the river twice for no reason. Because I had tiny feet and I couldn't find shoes to kick, like fit my feet. And we used to play this game where we'd kick imaginary balls. So one time I did, and then my little shoe just ping, 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 over the wall into the Rosa River. And to be walking from the school to Grand Bay bus stop with one shoe in my foot and my little green sock. To this day, that is my legacy at Birian. Not nothing else they remember me for, except being the girl that kicked her shoe in the river twice.
You just made it public. So now all of Dominica and the
Yeah,
rest of
man, you have to own your trauma.
I don't know
It's
about
been
that.
a it's been a while. I feel like it's time for me to heal.
I don't know about owning your trauma, no? I don't know about that.
Every
Speaking of
time I see the river, I grab my shoes. So you won't get this one.
you hold I don't know. How do you hold on to your shoe?
You just take your toes and
Squeeze them. Wow. So you went to Berrien Academy and then
yeah,
you went to convent.
Convent High School. Yes.
What was it like at convent? Like what would someone
I love, honestly, convent was, I have only fond memories of convents. Only fond memories. I wasn't in any clique or anything. Berean Christian Academy has a great music program. So it's like, Berean Christian is like a nerd school. Like it was tailor made for people like me who one, I don't see a teacher talk in my head. Just give me the book, let me do what I have to do. And that's how Berean was. And then they let you read a lot and then you get to do music. So the music program was great. Music was like a huge thing. Singing was a huge thing. Went to convent and I met up with like Nicole Christian, who goes by Abia Israel now. So we were singing from first form, like we just, connected. The Tasha P was at school too. So it was a lot of musical people around me who we just sang together, and convent was just like where I met some of the best people who are my friends to this day. And I don't have any like bad memories in convent, to be honest. My teachers were great.
if
Teachers were great. Yeah.
if you ask probably Nicole or Tasha about you at convent, what would they probably say?
Huh. She always had a book in her face.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always reading. Always reading. I don't know. I feel like I'm like more or less the same. I'm just maybe more outspoken now, but I don't think I've changed that much.
Hmm.
I don't
So
think so.
so from convent, what happened after convent? Did you
DSC again, a repetition, a strange girl that just stuck to the tree with her books.
you need to talk to the tree?
Hey man, whatever works. I had 4 majors. I had a heavy schedule. I had to do what I had to do. Talking to the tree helped me memorize things. What can I say? And then the boys used to call me WP, which stood for wasted potential because I wasn't checking man.
I thought it was something else, but my man was in the gutter.
Oh!
My mind
Wow.
I was like, when you said WP, and I was like,
Wow.
wait, I didn't know that about you.
Imagine I was so stupid.
It was the opposite.
Yeah, because I was young. I was young when I was in I mean I looked the age, but I was younger. So then when I I was so stupid. Somebody asked me on a date, I start to cry. I dropped the class next day. Another young man asked to kiss me. I start to cry.
Whoa.
I was not okay. I was not about the life. I was a late bloomer, man. It's okay.
Wow.
But I mean, I was talking to trees. So what? Why they was coming behind me for?
Somebody said they used to speak
Obviously,
to their parents' flowers too.
they what?
They spoke to their parents' flowers. Lola, she says, I spoke to my parents with my parents. Well, I never
See?
did because that was not my life. I didn't speak to any. I know the most we did was we would play. We always got married in our games. Like for some reason, I don't know. We always had like a papi show wedding. You know,
What?
yeah, always had a papi show, but I was always the man.
Jesus, I wasn't ready.
I was
I
always,
wasn't.
I was always
Oh,
I was always the man. I just could never picture myself in a white dress. Yeah. So
that's
I was just
interesting.
always like I would dress my sisters, put the sheet on their head, because you wanted to have the veil, you had to put the sheet or mommy
Period.
in and stuff, and and you would walk down the aisle, which was our living room, and
Mm-hmm.
if I had to play a role that was not the pastor, I was
Uh-huh.
probably playing the role of the man.
You ever?
I was
I don't think I've ever done a mock wedding at all. I
I
feel like I miss out on many like childhood things.
I've done so many mock weddings. I felt I've been married, and probably that's what I've convinced myself.
Maybe I was always terrified of marriage. I don't know.
Jeez.
It just never
Jeez,
felt like a
Jade.
fair equation, man.
So when did you finally like give a boy a chance? Like when did you come? When did you actually say
Okay.
yes and didn't cry? How old were you?
22? And it was like a sneak attack. Honestly, we were friends. And then the person told me they like me. I was like, wait, hold on. What? And then I considered it. I was like, all right, cool.
That is just hilarious.
Because I am so busy. Like I live inside my head. I'm always creating something. I was doing something. So it's like it was never like I was looking. I don't know. And plus, my father is a very impressive man. So it's like for you to impress me, you have to be impressive. And I
Mhm.
just haven't been really impressed yet.
Wow. Let's go back. So you finished college. What did you
Mhm.
graduate with? Like what were your majors?
The first was economics, but I dropped that. So it was literature, psychology, Spanish, English in college.
Mm.
Then I did a first degree in literature and linguistics. That's with UE.
So you
Then
you went to UE, you traveled or you stayed on island?
so at first I started on island and I traveled. So then literature, linguistics, psychology, and then a postgrad diploma in culture and heritage studies.
So when people hear you running them off about culture and heritage and them things, they like a little something.
I doesn't say much. I
Like,
just wait for them to curse me, and then
like
I just Plato.
yeah, listen, well, I know you know a little something, but you know a little something. You're not actually like talking out of your your backside. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you decide? Before we get into like, let's scale back a little bit, because we knew you. Well, I met you as a singer, singing with
Mm-hmm.
Bree. That's when I was like, and you seemed like you didn't seem shy, but you didn't seem like you were extroverted.
I'm not.
You just seemed like you were like probably in your head a little bit, but
Yeah.
you had a very good voice. When did that happen? How did you end up with Breathe?
So when I came back from UE, my brother's school, Orion Academy, they asked me to do a performance, and the boys from Ecstasy, a lot of them were my former students, my former music students too. So when I came back, man, big man have beard and thing, man in band. I say, wait, okay. So I was like, okay, I have a little performance. I want a bit. Oh, I want a band. They're like, Miss, after all, man, it'll be your band. So we did a little practice. I was so impressed to this day. Like, they have my heart. And I did a performance, and I think the leader of Breathe and a couple of the other musicians were there. And he told me, like, you need to come by the studio. And I was just like, okay, I didn't know who that was. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I didn't have no intentions of going. And then he saw me on the road one day, like I was coming home from work. And he was like, what you doing? I was like, and he's like, let's go by the studio. And that was history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it the first time they played at Curl Festival? You performed, right? I believe it was.
No, I think they played before, but they had like guest singers.
Right. It
So
was
they
more
had
like.
other people, but then and they used to be, I think, backing bands, but then like as a headliner, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
performance. It was a Sunday.
Yes.
I remember that
Right.
performance. I remember seeing you perform because I was emceeing. I was on stage
Oh yes.
emceeing, and I remember,
Oh, you're part of my lore.
I was. Oh, Jade. I remember what you were wearing, which is, I don't know. I saw a lot of useless information, so don't mind me. We continue and we're moving along. So you started performing with Breathe. What was that experience like, being in a band with?
It was expansive. So while I was at UE, I was part of the Pop Society and eventually became the president of Pop Society. First woman, first non-Jamaican. Anyway, um, so we were touring. I performed like in front of people like Junior Gong, open for people like Shaka Khan, Tony Braxton, all that. So that gave me the itch, like being in Jamaica and seeing young people like pursue music like really aggressively and seriously. I was like, oh, I like this. So when I came home, it was just like I was still itching. So I think that's what made me like just fall into Breathe. And then Breathe was like Pop Society on crack.
Mhm.
It was like the Super Bowl of musicians because everybody was like super excellent, and I felt like a little puppy
Mhm.
because I was like, what am I doing here? These men are crazy talented, but I had to learn fast because I'm very stubborn. I had to learn fast. I had to like pull up my bootstraps and be like, all right. The first couple years I was floundering, yeah, because it was very, very intimidating, and I just felt like I'm not the typical West Indian singer. I'm not a Destra. I am not an Alison Hines, but I'm a little weirdo with the guitar, you know.
Mm.
And I had to figure out how to make that work for me and like find my own power within myself without like imitating anybody else.
Mhm.
So it was great. I'm so grateful for that foundation because like it just made me so much better as a musician. It increased my skill set, my ears, everything, my repertoire, all of that. So yeah, it was a great foundation for me.
You say something about, you being in Jamaica and seeing how, all of these people are able to pursue music on a serious note in comparison to Dominica. What would you say you felt was lacking? Because Dominica is where essentially you got your well, you discovered your gift or your talent, right? And I mean, you say that, okay, these people are like pursuing this in such a big way, and here you are, this person who's probably as equally talented, if not more talented, and you didn't realize, it didn't hit you until you get there, that hey, there's a big bad world out there that does not necessarily include just academia. What was that like for you? Like, how would you?
It was very surreal. Like even now, it's really cool because I have peers and friends who are Grammy winners, who have Emmys, people I've performed with. Like I think one of the most full circle moments was being on stage in Suriname with Wyclef, and then a few years later being on the World Creole Music Festival poster next to Wyclef.
Mhm.
That was a full circle moment for me. And being in Jamaica and like just going to places and performing and having Barry's Hammond there and having Maxi Priest touch my boom boom a time because he was saying hi. Like we was backstage and the OJs and Tony Braxton right there and Chrisette Michelle right there and being, backing band and Chronics there and Kabaka Pyramid and all these people who are big names now, but we all started the same time in school and all of that. Like, and seeing them just believe in themselves so hard, that was like, dang, I didn't see that back home, and it just made me hungry for that back home too, and it was, I think it was just eye opening and like spirit opening, where I was like, the possibilities are endless. Like seeing myself, a little girl from Pishle, like in the same vicinity as the OJs, watching them do money, 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 money. And I was like, what, who am I? Look at my life. Like that was a big thing for that. I remember that moment like crystal clear when I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it when I go home, but I have to. And then I met Breve. So I was like, okay, that's a path.
Mhm.
That's a path to that.
So you come back to Dominica, you're performing with Breathe. Obviously,
Mhm.
you're working. You mentioned you're working. What sort of jobs?
I was a teacher. I was a teacher, and I mean, and also like my dad had a mini mart at the time, so I was like helping him run that too. But I was mainly a teacher. We had an after school program as well because literacy for me is a big thing, and like I felt like, why am I giving all my skills to someone else and the people in my village can't benefit from it? So me and my dad, we started an after school reading and homework program, and it expanded from Pishler to like Grand Bay, Bellevue, Dubic. We'd break after school, they'd come to the church and we would help them with their homework, help them with their literacy, and then feed them and then send them home at night. Yeah, so I was working in the school and then coming back to Pishler to help kids, give them the extra help they need that they don't get in from 8 to 1.
Wow, that's wonderful. To learn. I didn't know that. So that's one thing I did not know.
Yeah, because I doesn't talk.
I did not know that. But yeah, that is very interesting to know that you and I get it now. When you say that, I get why it was so important for you to do that. For your community. What happened after that time? Because you did not stay with Breve forever.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think what happened was it was just like you come to a crossroads and you have to make kind of decisions on where you're going to go. And with all bands, like everybody's not at the same place in life.
Hmm.
And some of us were like single and unattached, and some people, had families. And those of us who were single, you have the itch, you want more, and you wanted to take opportunities that people with families can't take.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what happened. We got opportunities. We got to kind of see the world and travel the world doing music, and then Maria happened. So after Maria, there's like, even if you come back, what you going to do?
Hmm.
So that's kind of what
What
happened.
did you do after Maria?
So I kept traveling. I kept going to Europe on do the cruise ships thing up until COVID. Yeah, COVID put this spoken by will.
So where have you been? Where you travel? You say you've traveled. What countries did you go to?
So like we've done South America, Central America, Europe, Northern Africa as well, and obviously all over the Caribbean. And
Mhm.
like just before COVID, I was supposed to do got two contracts. So I was supposed to do a solo stretch that was going to like Israel and Crete and that stretch. And then I think the other stretch was supposed to be Asia. I think I can't remember. And I was excited for that because I really wanted to go on that side. But yeah, COVID.
For like most of us, I mean, during when COVID happened, I was finishing off school, and I emerged immediately, like kind of immersed myself back into school, and I did my master's.
Mhm.
What did you do
I
during?
threw myself into learning a new skill. I got licensed. I learned how to be like a loan compliance officer and then like loan underwriting compliance. And then I also got my adjusters, all lines adjusters license, which is what I do now. I am a full time senior property claims adjuster. Um, yeah, I wasn't, it was like what? COVID, they shut us down in March. When I see, oh, COVID serious by June, I say, oh, wow, let me find something to do. And I got my license. I started getting my license. And then by October, I was hired by an insurance company, the biggest one in the United States. So,
Wow,
yeah.
wow. What is life like as an adjuster? What does that entail? Like for somebody who probably doesn't know anything about the.
Here's the thing. I messed up because I wanted a job that wasn't like teaching. You know, if teaching it never stops, adjusting is like that. The work, like you never run out of work. There's always something to do. Like I wanted something where I could just do it, and then when it's 5 o'clock, shut up. No, there's always work to do because there's always disasters. There's always something else. There's always a hurricane. There's always a storm. There's always a flood. There's always something. So there's always work to do, and it seemingly never stops.
Okay, so let's get back to your music and your everyday life, because music for you is like everyday life, and I can say that because I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember at the one point we were talking and you said to me, I'm writing a book.
Hmm.
I was like, you're doing what? You're like, yeah, I'm writing a book and I'm almost done. And I'm like, you're doing, when did that start? Like, when, and you wrote Jungle Siren. Tell me,
Hmm.
okay, obviously, we know literacy has been a huge part of your life from your
Hmm.
time you were born. Like you say, people would find you in front of a book or talking to,
Yeah.
right? What,
Hmm.
when was that moment? I know you knew, you said that when you were 12, you wanted to be a writer, but
Hmm.
when did you decide that you were going to write your very first novel? When did that happen?
So so when COVID happened, like COVID forced me though that 4 year span forced me to like start my life over several times. Um, I was heavy into music and I was about to like release music, and then the person I was doing music with at the time, we had to part ways. So that was me. I had to like again like start over again. And
Mhm.
in that space is like it was a little bit traumatic to like just think about making music all over again because I'm like I've been working on this for so long and like now I can't even do anything about it. Like it felt like a death, you know? And I had to kind of pivot and put my creativity somewhere else. And I started just kind of writing like throwaway stuff. Like I started throwing myself into like writing groups online. I started writing fan fiction and then people would respond to it. I was like, oh, okay, y'all like how I write. All right, cool. And the thing about it is, I realized that I've never related to love stories or movies because I don't see myself in these stories. I don't relate to these damsel in distress. I don't relate to a lot of these nonsense things. I'm like, If it happens to me, it could happen to a lot of people. Like, I hate watching movies and we either the nanny or the drug dealer, and then the accent. Jesus Christ, I don't know where in Costco or Walmart they get the accent, but I was like, which country that come out from? And I think when I watched Wakanda Forever for the first time and I saw them speaking Yucatec Mayan, which sounds so similar to the Kalinago language, and then they were speaking Creole, it just blew my mind. I was like, oh yes, we can. You can hear our accents, you can hear our languages, and it can be a blockbuster. Like, I was like, oh, the sky's the limit. It's our time. Let me start writing these stories about us and our stories and our history, because like people were eating it up. You had random people with blonde hair talking about Likik Talokan, and I was like, yes, yes, Likik Talokan, yes, because it's like everybody's saying Wahala, everybody's saying Inshallah. Why they can't say Sakafit?
I
You
know.
know? So I'm like, let me start making some stories. And that's how Jungle Siren, somebody from a writing group sent me this writing competition. And she was like, I think you'd be good at that. I was like, I looked at it, I was like, girl, it is weeks away from the deadline. I was like, you know what? Whatever. Let me just do
Weeks
this.
away from the deadline.
It was like a little over 3 weeks. 3 weeks away from the deadline. And I had already started plotting the book that I'm gonna call Warlike. And so Jungle Siren is literally the intro to
Okay.
Warlike. Yeah. And when I submitted it, lo and behold, I won. First time Dominican.
I remember when you won, because we were both winning things at the same time.
Right?
Right?
Right.
And
Yes.
it was just like we were on the phone with each other, and I was like, Jade, guess what? I won my documentary, which and the stories are so like
So
closely
similar.
right? I think it's like the it's probably the spirit, the entire,
Yes.
and you're like, what is it about? Because I never told you what my
Right.
was about, and I tell you, and then you're like, wait a while, like my book is, and we started like having this conversation about, and then you're like, Jael, I win, and I was like, you win and you don't announce it. How you can win and you don't announce, And I remember getting like so emotional for you because I was so happy that you'd
touched
won.
me so much. You don't even know. You don't
Right?
even know.
And I was like, you better announce it. And I went, I took your thing, because you had said we did the win thing, and I posted it. I said, word, because I just felt like it just brought me so much joy, to see that you did something in such a short space of time. Like, it just says how magnificent you are as an individual, Don't stop it, right? Because you were able to like do this in like 3 weeks, and people don't probably see the kakani that come out in your nose, and they don't see all of the toiling that went behind it, and to put this down and win, and win.
I wanted to win so bad because when you have these competitions, it's always like Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad. And I was like, nah, not this time. Not this time. And it filled me with so much like pride to write something about the great Kalinago spirit, Bakwa. And I'm like, why not? Like, you can't get more Dominican than that. And I wanted to do that and for it to win. And the email, they're like, from round 1, it was clear. And I was like, oh, they didn't need to include that, but they did. And I was like, oh man, I was so proud because like everything I do is for Dominica, honest to God.
Yeah, it is. And there are a few of yous out there, who do a lot, and it just really Dominica flows through your every being, everything that you do, musically, whether you're writing, everything. You just and we're not even touching the social media part yet. We're gonna get to that. You did this. You wrote this amazing book. First of all, before we even go any further, people might just be watching and they might want to know where they can get the book if it's available.
So it's available for pre-order. Because of the film, I had to push back the launching because I didn't anticipate how much this film would take out of me. But at the end of the month, the book is going to be ready. This is not Jungle Siren. So the book, so here's the thing. Not Jungle Siren, Warlike was on my first laptop. So when I came home in June, I planned to like finish it off because there was some research that I wanted to do. My computer just went kablooey.
I remember
Lost
that.
all my music, lost my novels, lost my scripts, everything in June. And when I went back in July, they were like, either we wipe your computer or you pay thousands to do data retrieval. And when I tell you I wanted to crash out, it's not a joke. It's not a joke because I'm like, I spent so much time writing this book and now I can't access it. This is actually insane. And so I was just like, I can either give into depression or I can tell myself if I did it once, I can do it again. So from end of July to like mid-October, I just started writing a new book called Mirror Mirror. And I was like, I need to fund this film because my manager was like, you're not giving up. You're not giving up. I was like, I don't got no money. How am I supposed to fund the film? She's like, we're going to get you to do something. You need to start posting on social media. I was like, I don't want to post on social media. She's like, you do it. And like, she just refused. Shout out to Cookie Robinson. She refused to let me give up. So then, like sometimes I have dreams and I tell her and she was like, this is a novel. And I was like, ew, I'm not writing this. But she didn't give up. So it was just like a snippet of dreams that she made me turn into. She was like, write it. And I was like, all right, cool. It's a romance novel. The girl is Afro-Kalinago. I call her a Kubuli woman because my petition is to change our nationality. Tired of saying I'm not a Keloke Dominican, I'm a Sakafet Dominican. Just call me a Kubuli woman and finish.
Hey, we have some Dominican people on the live, eh?
Hey, claro que sí. Hi, my people.
So you're like, you want to be called Kubuli?
Yeah. Call me a Kubuli woman. So the character in it, I named her after your sister. Her name is Aurelie. She is, I call her a Kubuli woman. But it's my tongue-in-cheek way of alluding to her being Dominican. And the male character is from Honduras. You know, I always wanted to include Hondurans because there's always this argument that people of Roatan are not from the Caribbean, but I'm like, nah, y'all are our people. You know?
Or we're their people.
We're their people.
Or like
you
it.
know? Yeah.
Because you know they came from down there and they came up.
Right. Todo en la familia. You're my people, okay?
Yes.
So yeah, I made sure that the male character is from Honduras. The woman, but it's set in like Atlanta, California type thing. And it's a love story. Can I say like adult words here? But it's a love story. It's an adult book. It's a little spicy because I wanted to
a little spicy, a little raunchy, a
little bit. Because here's the thing: being in America, I realized the way we express sensuality is so free of like taboo and like it's very pure. Like is a skill. You understand? But in America, there's so much like hush and like guilt and shame attached to it. And I wanted to have like a romance novel that showed sensuality in like a very free way where the woman is not like scared. And you know, like they always have the woman be like, oh, I can't. I was like, that's just upsetting.
She's just like, why are we doing this?
That is not a Dominican woman at all.
and I think, you know, I love the fact that you talk about that because that brings up, you know, all of the things that are sort of connected to colonization and the fact that, you know, our bodies were like we were gazed on and we were they said we were exotic and we were erotic, and it wasn't that. It was just that our ancestors, they owned their sexuality and they knew what their hips were supposed to do and what their breasts would do and what the way they moved their mouth and if they pouted or if they, and I mean, we knew we knew it, and I think North America's involvement in the Caribbean has made
Mm-hmm.
us kind of like retreat because
Mm-hmm.
we're like we don't want to because we came across as if we were whores, but
And I want us to reclaim that, and that's why I'm writing the way that I write, because I'm like, I want to present female sensuality and Caribbean femininity, because we don't feel shame about nothing, because you can be a president and still be whining to soca the next day, because
hello,
all our up, I feel like is like a tradition. Every single prime minister in America, in the Caribbean, we all know what they
that's
feel like
right,
we're getting now. You understand? So it's like, that is, I mean, if that is what all you want to do in North America,
that is
fine.
your business, right?
But that's not us,
Right.
and we shouldn't feel ashamed of how we present ourselves and how we exist outside of the white gaze, outside of the gaze of colonization. And I love how we have decided in the Caribbean who we want to be. We
Mhm.
are the majority, we are the writers of our own story. So the stories that I'm going to put in Warlike, they're talking, it's very much an ode to how in the Caribbean you can be a Yale graduate, a Harvard graduate, and we still hold on to our spirituality and our folklore and our beliefs of our ancestors. And in Mirror Mirror, it's a lot about how you can be a strong woman, you don't have to compromise, and there will still be a man who will not ask you to be small,
Mhm.
and he will love every single thing that you are,
But you
especially as
say
Caribbean.
we talk about our women, but our men, and
Mhm.
I love the way, and that brings me to even your your TikToks, your
Mhm.
viral TikToks. Like you've
Mhm.
done work, or I say it's work because it is work because you're educating the fools out there, and I say it as it is. You when you talk about our men not being scared of us and
No.
not being worried, and you did a little piece like I actually like I wish I could just pull it up right now, but piece on on how men refer to women in the
Mhm.
Caribbean, how they're not scared for the
At
women
all.
to have them all caught up in love, and they're not scared of that.
Listen.
They don't
And
scared
and and I think, and I want to praise our men a lot, because if you look at social media, I when I moved to the States as an adult, I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand this version of manhood, because the men that we have at home, they don't ask you to make yourself small for them to feel big. Because for me, if you telling me slow down, maybe that means you can't run that fast. And our men will run fast, but then if you run faster, they will still be there. Go
cheer you.
ahead, girl. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They're like, and I've seen so many men growing up who have wives who are like managers or like bosses, and they are
Yes,
so proud. They're
and
like,
they don't feel no way about it.
no way about it.
Way about it, and they don't feel like you upstaging them, or you're trying to have one on them, or like
Because anybody from no other country, I not gonna call American name, but if you see they come and tell me nothing, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I thought a country who was afraid to elect a woman said something. We've done it several times.
yeah. Oh, like yeah,
Several times since the 80s. So I don't know what are you talking about.
hello.
Backwards where? Y'all scared. No time all you see are scared is
And the animated Jade has entered the chat.
no, because that does upset me. I'm just like, you wish. You wish.
I love what you've been doing with your social media. I want to take a little bit of
You.
credit for that because
Yes.
I always kept saying, Jade, you have so much to say. You know what? I have a lot to say, like just like you, but my saying is in this. That is
Yes.
how I say. I cannot stand up in front of a camera and freestyle like you. Like
I mean, it helps to be a clone. Eh?
you're a natural, like you just a natural, like you can and I think talking to the trees have benefited the shit out of you because you can just stand up there, the camera becomes your tree, and you just you just talk and you drop so many gems and bombs while you're while you're talking. So much information, not just mapwe, but you're also educating and you're giving history and you're taking
Yeah.
you're giving taking out. If you don't follow Jade, go follow Jade the Gemini one time, because like the information is so relevant and it's so interesting to hear you speak on so many things. But I know a lot of us absolutely love the clapbacks when those idiots come in the chat and you're
Mhm.
not scared to like screenshot and say, let me answer you. Let
They
me
can
tell
beat me there. Oh, please.
Jade, you are a mess, Jade. And I
No,
love
because
it.
I was minding my business. And my theory is if you see me mind my business and you upset me, I upsetting you back. And now we both upset. Equality.
Yeah, because I've actually shared some of Jade's things. Sometimes I don't want to just honestly, I want to take a lot more of her shit and share it on my page.
You
But
can. You
but
can.
but
I give you freedom.
I don't want to like be like a because at one point in time I feel like Facebook will tell me, are you trying to impersonate Jade? you know, because I'm putting out so much of your shit. So yeah, I've always been like when you spoke on one of the things that really resonated with me most recently. I mean, you've a lot of things resonate with me, but when Dominica captured gold and
Ah,
Saint Lucia and you said it. Okay, so I knew it at the back of my mind, but how you said it was just it was just like shit. It was just real. It was so real. It was so relevant. It was something that the asses didn't even see.
mm,
Like you're like,
mm.
look at that. And I'm not
Yeah.
gonna tell y'all because those of you who know, you know. Those of you on the
Right.
line who know and follow Jade, you know. Those of you who just come and you getting to know, you go follow her to know, right? Because we're not
Ah,
gonna get into it. But what you said was just so important for us as Caribbean people, as not just
mm-hmm.
Caribbean people, as small islanders, as little colonizers,
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
little colonies.
Mm-hmm.
We were colonized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you said was just it resonated with me so much. I mean, I actually like I downloaded us and I shared it because I was like, this is so relevant for us to know. We need to understand, what is happening. We need to
Mm-hmm.
understand how many chains were broken and how many.
Listen, we've done it once, we can do it again because we have more than they had before. So it's like, I never want us to feel powerless. That's my main thing. I never want us to feel powerless because we come from a long line of rebellious, resistant, warlike warriors. And we should never forget that because the people from the north, they're running out of resources and they're looking at us again. They don't even pay us for the first time they want to come back. Never happened.
And
Never
that brings
happened.
me to me asking you, like, what fuels this passion? What exactly is fueling this passion that you have that that includes an understanding of neocolonization and the attempts that the great norths, I like to call them,
The
are.
Great North is great. Les Collines are toujours.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because like all of these countries have done like truth and reconciliation, but it's kind of like truth and reconciliation,
Light
like,
diet.
right. So it's very watered down, and they recognize all of these days and they do all of these things, and even our own little advocacy for indigenous people, and people don't even understand. And I want Dominicans don't need to they need to
I'm
learn,
hard on that.
like they need to
Hard on that.
understand, because the knowledge that indigenous peoples hold
Yes.
can literally set us not just free mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the kind of knowledge that they.
But that's survival though, for whatever is coming. And I think with your documentary and as well as Mike Lee's documentary on Civilized, like those of us who have Kalinago heritage, like I don't think we understand We are tied to this island for more than a millennia. Do you know what that feels like? Like, we have ancient bloodline, and when you understand the power with that, I think maybe I'm just one of those that the great mother Whitey Kubuli choose. I don't know. It was a bunch of things. It's like my dad being so big on culture and heritage and history, me finding, I don't know, always looking to roots of things. I'm an investigator. I like to find the source of things. And when you start pulling at strings and you realize, like, whoa, what Dominica has done, what we've managed to accomplish is so powerful. It's so different from the rest of the Caribbean, but it's not common knowledge. And I feel like when you know who you are, you walk different. But Ophelia Marisha, Masheko Anties, Masheko Dominice, like when you know what you come from, nobody can talk to you crazy. Nobody can talk to you crazy. So I tell myself when I walk with the strength of my ancestors behind me, because I believe in blood memory. I believe that every single generation deposits
Oh
something.
God, I believe in blood memory.
Yes, it deposits something into your blood memory, and I'm trying to make sure I deposit as much as I can for whoever is coming after me. But I can only do that if I look to who came before me. And my thing is, I refuse to be ashamed to the people that do all that with their little stone and bullseye and
Stone and
arrow,
stick and arrow.
and I pull up there and I just lie down and take nonsense. What a shame. I refuse to be an embarrassment to the people that die for me. I'm so sorry. So whatever, I can run fast. I not I I'm not an expert marksman. So what I have is my mouth and my pen and my voice. So I will use the tools I have to do as much as I can so that the people who have those skills have someone propping them up in the spirit, giving them the knowledge and giving them the courage to be like, yo, this is who I am. This is what I've come for. This is who I've been for centuries. Who are you, Numbla, to tell me what to do on my land? Because all we have in this world is this little rock, and that goes for everybody in the Caribbean. Them people don't want, you see how they're fighting to give you reparations? All you
And
have,
they've actually, listen, they've actually said and admitted that they need to.
they
And
do.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. We lost Jade for
Oh,
a
I'm
second.
back.
We lost.
I was like, no, I'm like, no. But yeah, they've admitted that they have to give it. But in as much as they're not giving it, why would you give them your land? That is the one thing we have that is our own.
Mhm,
And they still want to take it.
mhm.
That's you pay me tax on tax on tax on tax on tax on tax on tax.
You didn't see just recently there was something going around where one of the British
Don't upset me.
was like, "Oh, we've given them the knowledge. We've
Bro, I
given them
nearly throw my
the law.
phone.
We've given them," and I was like,
I was moved to violence.
I was like, imagine I watched that video. I think probably I gave them the most likes if they were counting, or the most views if they were counting, not the most likes, but the most views.
Mm.
Because I just kept looking at it over and over again and shaking my head.
Mm.
I was like,
Oh my god, I was trembling, you know.
I was
I was
shaking.
I was so vexed. I have never been enraged. I would just take his throat and oh my god. Hey.
No violence, Jane. No violence. No violence. But
We come from a war like people.
you are so passionate about this, and you've put that and into your work, in your writing. You've put it in your TikToks. Go follow Jade the Gemini. She probably call her Jade the Great, but I don't know why she have herself calling Jade the Gemini. That's another
Because
story.
people hate Geminis, bro.
Jade the Gemini on TikTok, also on Instagram. You can get all her videos there. Her stuff is the real is real. You can few times and be like, I've watched it, I've sent it to people. Mo toujours caché. Well, you know that already.
Oh.
But it's just real. Like it's not, like I like to watch things that will make me laugh, but like to also watch things that will educate me. And you give a nice balance of both. Like
Oh,
so there's
thank
a
you.
nice balance of both, where you're learning new things, you're affirming things, and then you're getting a little laugh, because no one again you will see like even your most recent thing with the Belfast estate rum, and I was like,
That was a real story. I was so triggered.
Jade, who follow Sam?
No, I don't. I tell you straight. That was she fall because I imagine I tell her I am going to make a video about you. She laughing. She laughing like ha ha ha. When I see Tam knows about me, I'm like, girl, you don't know how close all you coming to having an international incident. If I didn't have to go and pick up that man in the airport, yo.
Jade, I was on the floor. I was like, Jade, you are not easy. You're not- I need to go to the chat, because lots of folks are in the chat.
Oh, for real?
Like,
Okay.
and I know that would happen. We would get carried away, because that's what always happens. We don't call each other purposely, because when we start talking, we're on for like 3 hours, so we just don't call each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like message each other. So Obanga is on. He's saying,
Hey.
Jade enlightens the world. Jordan Robin is on. Jade the Great. You see, he called you the great Jade.
Oh,
You
wait
see?
until I do great things. Wait until I
Right?
do great things.
Ingrid is saying, I'm late, Ingrid, you're here. We're happy to have you here. Bernice is here. Bernard
Auntie
Carroll is
Bernice?
here. Yes. La Rock Carol is here. We
No.
have Ocean's Thought is here. Abelino is here. We have
Hello.
Neva George is here. My girl. She's like, what are we talking about today? Jet Li
Nonsense.
is like two black beautiful queens. Dominica.
Oh.
Jadani is here. That's the folks on. Let's see. Okay, so we have nobody commenting on YouTube, but the YouTubers are there. They're loving the independence mix. So she's saying she's loving the independence
Oh.
mix.
Oh, thank you.
Matilda is watching. Matilda Jolly says Matilda is watching. I like when people call their name.
Hi, Matilda.
I'm watching.
Hey,
This
queen.
really has me mesmerized. I'm about to follow. You need to follow. Listen, let me tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Ruth Annie's here. You know when I start saying,
Mom. Hi, Mom.
Chris Davis is here waving. Chris doesn't comment under my thing. Chris is here. Like lots of folks are here, and really enjoying the
Auntie
conversation.
Bernice is here. Oh,
I did warn them, and I said it would be a mix of talking about Jade and then Jade and Jael rambling, because that is what happens whenever.
Are you not entertained?
Whenever we connect, that is exactly what happens. So we were talking about, the fact that you've been utilizing TikTok. Why did you decide? I know your manager encouraged you to, yes, go out there on social media, but you could have gone on social media and just read a line of your book. I love those TikToks, by the way, really, where they read a line and
it's coming.
and they break it down. Like I follow this girl that she's an immigrant from Jamaica. I know you, yeah, but whatever. She's from Jamaica, living in Canada, and she reads, and she reads a lot of Caribbean books. So she will pull a line from the book and she'll read it. She'll read the entire, let's say the entire page of the book, and she will just get into it. And like,
I need to follow her to see how to do that.
I am locked, like she'll get into it. Like one of the most recent ones she did was Rita Mali and her bio, and she was talking about it, and I instantly bought the book. Like after I was just like,
let me send her.
She was just like, so you can send her your book and get her to read.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I would love that.
She goes in and then she's like stories. So why did you decide that you were going to use the history, the culture, the music, because that's essentially what you do, and put it together in commentary on TikTok? What was that the deciding factor?
It was two things. So when I first got on TikTok, I was doing like a lot of like history stuff about Kalinago heritage and whatever. And it got I found out very quickly that people up north are very anti-indigenous and they don't respect or like indigeneity. And um I was taken aback and I got attacked a lot. And even I got attacked by people who looked like me who were in America. And I got off because I got a stalker and all that nonsense. And me stuff I doesn't play, as all you can see. I don't play about my safety. I don't play about myself. So if something is causing me stress, I will leave it. So I got off TikTok for like about a year and a half, 2 years. So when my manager was like, "You need to come back," I was like, "I need to streamline my audience because I know how my people operate. We're not the kind of people who, if we don't like what you're saying, we're going to go to your job and try and get you fired, or we'll
We'll
stalk
tell you what
you,
I'm
or
about.
right, exactly. We'll deal with that like normal people."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, and the two things is like I've always wanted to do this, but I was always like waiting until like things were perfect, or had the right camera, whatever, whatever. And she was like, "No, just start." And I started doing it, and the responses were like so good. And I realized like, oh, there's a hunger for content that's like us, because if we're honest, the content that is on these apps is highly North American. It's not really about us. And
Caribbean
I was
people.
like, right. And I'm like, why not make content that is quality, that is like enlifting to us, but also like so relatable, but put it out there,
Mm.
especially for like the islands that people don't really know. So I was just like, all right, how can I make this in a voice that talks to my people? What they say, in the club, we all fam, like that
Right.
kind of thing, right? So I'm like, my people will hear my voice. And like slowly and surely I felt more comfortable like building an audience that is West Indian. There's safety in that, there's protection in that, and there's so much support and love, and you actually get to connect with people.
Mhm.
And I learned so much. So I wanted to have like a public record of just our culture, our heritage, but in a way that is entertaining, because nobody not going to listen to me lecture them, but you will listen to me tell somebody,
A piece
"Mm, yeah," but then I'll tell you where that come from, or I'll tell you why patois is or Creole is resistance, or you, and then you feel proud, like,
oh my God, that I absolutely, because I'll tell you why I love this, right?
mhm,
I love that video because not because I did not know what you were saying, but because you were confirming what I always knew. I've struggled a lot with people telling me how to spell patois, Creole words. And
mhm,
people have slid into my DMs and they've said, "Oh, that's not how it's spelled,"
yeah,
and based on my understanding, not just my understanding as somebody who my father, I mean, we had one of the biggest bookshelves growing up that I've ever seen. My father had
mhm,
lots of books, so we'd always be.
right,
My father used to always tell us to read. Go read a book. That was his thing to tell us, right?
yeah,
And my knowledge of what Creole, what it meant to speak Creole language
mhm,
was not in an effort. It wasn't a broken French, right? It was
period,
created it was created so the French could believe that we were
conforming,
we were trying to learn their language,
mhm,
sounding like idiots. So it was
mhm,
our own resistance to say, got it, chew, you got it, you could,
mhm,
they think that they know what we saying, but they don't know because they think to themselves that we're trying to learn their language. That was what
mhm,
it was for. So
yeah,
when I try to teach people Creole, and I did my little series, um,
right,
phonetically speaking, right? Which is actually my
mhm.
banner on my thing. People were just like, "Oh, it's not you're supposed to spell it this way and that way," and I'm like, "There's no." I mean, if you want to create a dictionary for it, you're more than
They do
welcome.
have one in St. Lucia. They
Yeah, they
do.
do have one, but what I'm saying is that is their version of it. Like, and
Exactly.
everybody, and it might not even just be there, it might just be one group of people's version of it, because everybody has their own little versions of it. And I'm not saying, and that's what when I posted recently a reaction video on the English language and bear, and it's gone viral. It's 1.7 million now, and people are just like, that is the same way I feel about Creole. The Creole language is that you cannot we forced English into this box, and now we feel when we say
Stuff.
something. That I remember, like, being in Canada and people saying, I'm going to the beach, and I said the beach, and then they're like, the you mean the beach? And I'm like, the beach, the beach, the beach, the beach. For me, it was the same, right? But to them,
Right.
they're saying bitch, whereas I'm
Mhm.
saying, I'm supposed to say
Beach.
beach,
Yeah.
so 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 it just, I felt like people were now trying to tell me how I should
Mm.
write Creole, and I'm like, you can't tell me how to write something that was created for resistance. I want to get your views on that, because I've gotten so much pushback, yet still my videos are doing very well. Like, they're all in the
I
hundreds
think
and going,
yeah, I think what it is like we kind of have to monitor when we I always ask people who's talking right now. Is that the colonizer and you talking? Is that something John Smith would say? Did you put on your little white wig and say, no, 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 you can't do that? Like, who says that? Like, that's not what Creole was recruited. That was, first of all, they wasn't even writing Creole. Like, let's be serious here. We're writing it now because we're using social media, but a lot of it, again, because of our Amerindian and African ancestry, a lot of language was passed down orally. So if you understand what I'm saying, what is your stress?
period.
What is your
I
stress?
absolutely love that. My cousin Gloria and I remember when I was younger, we would communicate on MSN, and we would speak in Creole. Like, we would type in Creole the entire conversations. And I don't feel like, was I spelling it correct? Was I spelling it wrong? I did not care, but she was understanding what I was saying.
Ask,
No,
answer me this. What is SMH? What is
she
LOL?
shaking my head.
Pronounce it. Fuck it. So free us up, please.
So
Like,
I love that you say that, because you validate my existence in the Creole language.
listen.
And when you said
Yes.
that, I was just like, please, like, tell them that we can say Bonjour Creole. We can spell it however the hell we want. If you want to spell it BUN, Bonjour Creole, and you get is Bonjour Creole Mokadi, is Bonjour Creole Mokadi. Like,
Exactly.
problem.
One of the tenets of white supremacy is the adherence or the pedestalization of the written word, right? Which is why they destroy libraries, which is why they do all what they do to destroy records. Because for them, if it's not written or it's not following that, then it doesn't exist. And that is just direct opposition because of how many indigenous populations existed, where you had the griot and you had orators, and that's how things were passed down. So again, when people get their peonies in a bunch, ask them who is talking right now. Is that the colonizer in you? Because the point of language is to communicate. So if you are understanding what I am saying, why are we still talking? A language that was created for resistance. You come in and tell me I have to listen, put on your little wig and go back to Europe.
People are livid showing he's saying, Saka fed madam, I have a Josephine. Right? Jennifer is saying, I love this. I wish my curl was like yours. Somebody else is saying, you're right, my sister. Like, people are like, Semi Della is saying, Jade the Magnificent. Please tell me appendages still crossed, and I trust everything is coming together.
Slowly but surely, yes.
Yes. So, Jade, you're now doing film. Like what's going?
Feels right?
Jed, talk to me. First of all,
Yo, this was crazy.
where did you meet this wine?
Oui, Boje.
Wine, moine. The- this.
Exactly.
How did you connect with Isaac Ramirez?
I think I lose you.
You lose me. I'm here. You hear me? I'm hearing you.
Lose you. Okay, I can talk again.
You hear me? You hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay,
Yes.
good. How did you connect with this? And it's funny because we kind of had this conversation before we having this conversation. And I was like, when you say you can't hear me, I was like, Jade playing a stunt on me. Jade, I'm
No, it's not. No, 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 no. It was the little. I don't want to say the name because it will hear it again and pop up. But you know the little robot, the AI robot that does when it
okay.
hears its
Okay.
name. hmm
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So what had happened was,
go ahead.
um,
Mhm.
so I saw I doesn't follow man on social media first of all, but I happened to see my co-stars a reel, and he wasn't the forefront of it. It was just like him on a beach, but it was just so beautifully shot. And then I don't know, something I guess I was feeling homesick at the time. So I commented like nothing beats island life, right? And then afterwards I was like, oh crap, ew, I doesn't comment on man thing. And then I go back to like delete it, but then he had responded already. And like when you interact with somebody's stuff, it keeps popping up. So every once in a while, like his stuff would pop up, and it was just like so stunningly and well shot. I was like, dang. And then he posted something about solitude. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is one of the men that I've said follow. So because I followed him, I started seeing more of his stuff. And then when I got the idea, not got the idea, but when I started formulating for the music video for Django, I was like, he has the Django look, because he was like posting stuff with like country hats and whatever. I was like, he gives that. So I just casually mentioned it to my manager. That's it, we. Months later, she come in and tell me, oh, by the way, I heard from his manager. They're excited. I was like, my girl, you can't take a joke. Like,
It's like she can't take you can't make a joke.
bro, I was like, huh? How? Because old boy got 4 million followers and shit. I was like, hold on. My little project. I didn't believe her. I really didn't believe her. Up until we was on Zoom, I did not believe I did not believe her. But like when we first spoke, like he was so kind and like very excited to do it, and um like even his ideas, because I opened up to him like, there are certain things I leave open for your contribution, because I really love your eye. I think what you do is amazing. You're very talented, and I would love your contribution. And when he came down, he took that and ran, because the things that he taught us, his contribution to the whole project, I can't repay him. I can't afford to repay him, because like he made it 10 times better than what I already had in my mind. And
So
yeah, it
tell
was
us
so
about the
cool.
project. Tell us about.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know how to relax, right? I don't know how to do small things. This started as a music video, then it went to a short film. Now it's like a documentary and a short film that's going to be like one little movie thing. Um, it started as, it's going to be a series. So this is Act One of the Rebel series, and it's called Django, which is what my co-star Isaac Ramirez plays. That's his character. I play the character of Rebel. So Rebel and Django, Rebel and Renegade, they are two orphans of freedom fighters. So it's set in like colonial Dominica before we became independent, and their parents were people who were resisting the crown. They wanted Dominica to have their own governance and blah blah blah. But the cruel, very cruel governor like kind of executed them, and then they found their parents' journals, and they decided that they were going to follow in their footsteps, but in like different ways. So his character is like the reckless Robin Hood character, where it's like he's charming and he's just going to rob the rich and give to the poor, to help her when she finally goes the political route of trying to kind of oust the governor who's there, who's really being like, after their parents' attempt, they got really hard on the people, and so he's feeding the people and storehousing like food and everything, because they know once you go up against the powers that be, they're gonna press the people. So he's doing his part so that she can do her part, and the story picks up from when they're about to do the end part of his part of the whole mission, where he's doing the last few jobs so that she can execute, and then we see what happens. Does he succeed? Does he fail? Does he die? Does he not? We don't know. So
You just
that's
gotta
what
watch.
that's what-
So where is that gonna be aired? Like
so
when?
here's the thing. So I need to find out. So it's going to be submitted at film festivals, which the deadline is like, couple
Couple weeks.
yeah, couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
And then after that, I'm looking. I ideally I would love it to be sometime in like May, because like I have to read the rules, because I think you can show it, but you can't. It can't have showed. You can't show it at all.
You can't. Some festivals don't allow you to show it at all. So
Some of them I read that you can't have showed it stateside or in Canada.
yes.
Right. So
Right.
I do want to do like a Dominican premiere
Mhm.
of it.
But you
If I
should,
can do it.
you need to try and get
Yeah.
it at Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh, that's very much in the back of my mind.
Yeah, because it's the hardest to get in. I got mine in Toronto International Women's Film Festival. I couldn't even make it to the international, right?
Whoa. Yeah,
My
that's tough.
make
Like TIFF is tough.
is tough. I mean, I won at the Caribbean International Film Festival, but the actual TIFF was like hashtag go. Granted, though, I didn't want to be too ambitious because I didn't even want to submit the film to begin with. I didn't
What?
want, because it was my master's project. So for me, it was just like,
Okay, got you, got you, got you, got
you know,
It
and it
was so
was my
good though.
supervisors and everyone that were just like, girl, you gotta submit that. And then
Yes.
the one I submit to, I win. So I was like, probably I should try others, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. But it's super important for stories, Caribbean stories like that, because for example, people say, oh, a lot of movies have been filmed in Dominica, but you can't really tell,
Okay.
right? You can't really tell. Like
Exactly.
the other day I was trying to convince somebody that Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed in Dominica, and they're like, no,
Mhm.
it wasn't. And I
Yes,
was like,
it
okay,
was.
so tell me where it was filmed. Like, tell me, please tell me where it was filmed, and trying to like have this big argument with me again, though. It's hard for you to kind of convince somebody who doesn't know. You have, because but somebody who
Mhm.
doesn't know, to them, it's like, it's neither here nor there, because obviously it's not set in Dominica. So they don't say, I'm in
Say,
Dominica. I mean,
right.
they on
But
some unknown island with an
right.
unknown name, right? So it's so important for those stories, like what you're creating, to be seen, and so people can know, that there is
Because
a
it is the one of the opening scenes between Django and Rebel is them talking about how much they love the land, and how he's asking her, "Are you scared?" And she's like, "We grew up around mountains. What is man? What is man to scare me? And even if I was scared, I'd still fight for this land because she's worth fighting for." And I think that is the theme that I want to like leave people to leave with, is that this place is worth fighting for. Like your home is worth fighting for. That's all you have in this world. Why give your youth to somebody else's country? All your goodness, all your juice, you're giving it to somebody else's country, and you have yours. It's yours.
no shade, people. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought her on here.
If all you can find me, try and beat me. I mean, hey.
But
But I really, I
and then
understand why people leave, but I'm saying it's still ours. We are the adults now. So anything we want Dominica to be, anything you want any island to be, who going to make it that except us?
facts,
We can't do it if we run all the time.
facts. Oh my God, Jade, what's next for you? Jay, did I even ask you questions? I feel like we were taught. We've been
What's next for me? Okay, so the release of Mirror Mirror, guys. I need you all to buy it because Mirror Mirror is going to help with post production of Rebel. If you want to see it, please buy Mirror Mirror. It's gonna be just $7.99. Okay, I need like 5,000 of y'all to buy it. Anyway, next
You
would
gotta make sure
be
you gotta send it for me. Send me all of the stuff so I can share
I
it.
will. Thank
It.
you
I
very
can.
very much.
I want to be able to. I will do it. I'll probably even do a little review on it.
And let me tell all you that when all you reading the thing, don't come and ask me no question about how I learn about them things there. Okay, right? Just read it and
And go
enjoy.
with God.
Yeah, take it and go.
Read it
What's
and
next?
go with God.
Next for me is Rebel Act 2.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my solo career is going to be launching as Jade the Gemini. I have new music coming up, and then Rebel Act 3. So in every act, you're going to hear some original music. So yeah, you can add film scorer to my resume.
Hello, hello, hello. Award
Shout
winning.
out to Cave, yes. Shout out to Cave Music. Shout out to Norris Francois. Shout out to Marika Honeychurch, Cookie, my brother, Beastbox Production, like everybody who has been a part. Sunny, Slain by Tiny. She was our makeup artist in the clutch. Like she did everybody's makeup, which was so good. Nicole Morrison, Cade, who else? Justin Moranci, Omari, all the people who were a part of the production. And little Aiden. Like it was just I don't know. I miss everything, and obviously Isaac Ramirez for coming all the way from LA to our little island and just embracing island life and adding so much value to the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, you told us.
Oh, and the Ministry of Tourism, and in particular, Honorable Minister of Tourism Denise Charles Pemberton, the PS as well, this Valmont, like the way they showed up in the clutch because like my donors back to the last minute. I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Like I just pull out things from my boyo to try and make it happen, but I still needed help, and whatever I couldn't, they supplemented. Fine Foods also just showed up. They gave Isaac really great packages. Belfast Estate, they gave us beverages. Like we was shouting as soon as boy reached, he was like, what's the drinking culture in Dominica? I was like, listen, if you see somebody with whiskey and they drive in those, he's like, I love it. From the time we reach is where's the rum? Every day on set, all of us is where's the rum? It was rum from morning till night, but nobody was in Suez. I don't know where it was going, but it was good. Like I loved that my community, my island, really showed up for me and really came together to make this a thing. It was literally a community effort, and it filled me with, I was so emotional because I'm like, this is what I wanted. I wanted to do something for us, by us, with us, and Dominicans did not let me down. So I am so grateful.
Jade, are there other Caribbean stories that you'd like to tell?
Yes. Yes. What's her name? Solitude from Guadeloupe, the pregnant lady.
Yes.
Oh my God. Nani in Jamaica.
Yes.
Obviously Jacko. But I do want to tell in Dominica, my particular, like I have it in my brain, the story of the Maroon leader who was so belligerent, where they sent that crusty Englishman to deal with the Dominican Maroon problem. And he was like, he sent peace envoys to say, okay, here's the Maroons. Let's be nice. Let's play nice. The Maroons and the Kalinago people send back the peace envoys without a hat. No heart in their chest. The Englishman no checking. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Put up a whole thing in the old market. I given somebody £1,000 for that Maroon leader head. Next day, over his thing, the Maroon leader make his own announcement. He give it £2,000 for the Englishman head. I say yes. We need this on the big screen.
I know it'll be wild. I think we have
No,
such good stories to tell in Dominica. We have such
amazing. Like in the
really.
House of Commons right now, on record, they were like the Dominicans Maroons were worse than the Jamaican Maroons because they would not even hear about a treaty. These are the people we descend from, folks.
Hello.
I'm just saying. Like we have a
Just
reputation.
just saying. How would you say uh, obviously you've gotten a lot of support. You just spoke about, the community, the Dominican public, and all of the different people have supported. How else can people continue to help in terms of supporting your work? Because a lot of times as creatives, like, so case in point, I started filming my second documentary like a year ago, but a huge part of it is raising the money for it. Now,
Yeah.
no, I'll tell you straight off the bat, as a Canadian, because I'm also a Canadian, I can get the
Hmm.
money from the Canadian government. I can get it.
Oh.
I can get all of it from the Canadian government, right? Everything that I need, I
Mm.
can get it, and I can do my film. But it comes with a caveat. I can only use I have to use 90% Canadian crew.
Ugh.
So for me, it's like, so what happening to my people that I working with all the time in Dominica.
And that's my issue.
So for me, I have not been able to complete my film because I'm trying to like self or
Self-produce.
produce my film.
Yeah.
As I can go to the Canadian government tomorrow. I can apply. As a matter of fact, my name is already in their system. I can apply. I have a grant writer who will write the grant for me, and I can get 100,000 Canadian dollars.
Right.
Finish my film. I can
Right.
get it, right? But 90% of my crew must be Canadian.
Canadian. Dang. That sucks. And but I like the integrity of that because like you know what you believe in, and that's the same thing for me. I wanted to do this with a Dominican cast and crew. I really wanted to show because my thing is you don't have to leave home to make the art that you want to make. I want to tell people like come home. Come home and do your projects and tell other like influencers like Dominica is the best place to work.
Mhm,
Why not work in nature? You know?
mhm,
Not just 9 to 5 and remote workers, like creatives, influencers, content creators. Come home, come to Dominica and work. And so for me, I have started the Creole Collective. So I
mhm,
have like merch. If you all want to support that way, I have merch with like "Do trouble trouble unless trouble trouble you." That is something, you know, that is our attitude in the Caribbean. I have my "We Does Beat Man"
mhm.
merch. I have Ocean Runners because that's what that's what them North Americans just call us. So I was like, hey, let's reclaim it. Ocean Runners it is. And then Mirror Mirror will be out for sale. It's up for pre-order, but it's going to be available by the end of the month. So those are the ways that you can support me because everything I do goes right back into the country because that's what I believe. It's the
Mhm,
Dominican dollar I try and stimulate, you know?
mhm, mhm,
And I really want to encourage people to invest in the orange industry, in the orange economy. Like entertainment is a tool,
mhm.
and why not use it to our advantage? People are hungry. It's the Caribbean Renaissance. People are hungry to hear more. So we don't want the same 7 stories Hollywood giving us. All right, we get
We're
it.
tired.
I
We're
want
tired of it.
I want to hear about Sukuya. I want to hear
Well,
about
Laja
the
bless.
lady before. Yes. I want to hear. I want a story, like one of the stories that I'm going to
No,
write.
wait, before you say that, the funny thing is, the other day, the prime minister posted something about the moose under the arm. Yo, people don't even. He was actually talking about it, and
He from Vegas, so yeah.
us, right? Moose under your arm and I remember my mother telling me that story, about the moose. You put the moose on the and she would point to people and say, "Oh, Mister had a moose." When I was a child, this person this person's father had a moose, and you should wonder why that person's father is not around. Is because they had to go and drown the moose, and the moose drowned the boy.
Right? How many people? Where else are you going to hear about that? That is a sci-fi thriller. Like I want to
You're
hear
wild.
fantasy. Like I want fantasy. I want a Caribbean Hogwarts. You understand?
Yes.
I want fantasy. I want a Caribbean Avengers. Like I want, but it wouldn't be Avengers. It would be like people who have like the real
Got
powers.
the
Like,
was.
I
It'll be
want a
like
Luga
got
who.
the was.
Listen, I tell somebody my bouillon name is Gate Was. When I
Really?
start making my name is Was. Gate Was. When I start making bouillon, I'll be my stage.
Jade, we could go on forever. We could go on forever. And I know people probably want us to stay on because they on. Thank you very much, Ebony Frampton, for the stars, as well as Carla Smith Drago. I appreciate you guys. Somebody's asking what bookstore, where are your books located? Where specifically? And Jade,
So
what I'm
for
going to do
now,
is you could go back on the live after kind of see if you could respond to a couple people. I
okay.
try my best too, but oftentimes it doesn't always work out. But people want to know where the books located, where can they get your material. And I'll add where I believe Obama put your Instagram, but I probably
Oh, bless him.
your
What
TikTok.
a brilliant man.
So
So also from BCA, Beer and Christian Academy.
mhm.
Yeah.
Where
But
can
I
people-
put it in there. It's thecreolcollective.com. That's where you can find everything that I do. Um, and for me, I made it the Creole Collective. I didn't put my name on it because I want that to be something that lives beyond me.
Mhm.
And it's really about us. Everything I do is about Dominica and the region because again, there's nowhere else like the Caribbean. My favorite quote from is that the Caribbean reality resembles the wildest resembles the wildest fantasy, and like that is the truth. That is the truth. Where you going and see people just walking in Sensi? Where you just going and see people on Bois Bois? Where you going to see Jab Jab? Like those are things that are so foreign to people, but that's just our life day to day. So I want us to feel so much pride and like just being honored and privileged to be born here, but also see it as a place that we need to protect. Because there's only one place like this where we literally face genocide and survive. We literally face slavery and escape and own the land after. So it's like, how we can just let that go for somebody now? Mad. That's our home, bro.
Jade, you're brilliant. I love your energy. I love your vibe. Oh, you know that. I don't even have to tell you. I'm saying
The feeling is mutual, babes.
they know that. I want them to know. I've just pinned, the Creole Collective. I've pinned it on the
Oh,
chat.
perfect.
Can grab it there. That's what I was doing while you were talking. I wasn't busy talking to people.
No, I know.
I'm trying to manage the chat as much as possible, but I know you're like, listen, I know you're destined for greatness. There's a handful of people that I could say, destined for greatness, and
We'll be there together.
I encourage you, I want to keep encouraging you
Thank
to,
you.
to be your great self, to be magnificent, to be the creative that you are, the trendsetter. You're just wild, man. You're just wild. Bernice
I'm
is
a wild woman.
very proud of you, and my goodness,
Oh, thank you.
folks are coming on, but I just really want to encourage you, as a fellow sister, because I consider you one, my sister,
Yes,
and
very
we,
much so.
we have a lot in our little brains, and we have a huge love for our people and our country,
Yes.
our home. We can't
Mhm.
stay far for too long, like on love. We
Facts.
in Dominica, and even sometimes, like sometimes I leave Dominica and say, I'm not coming back. I'm like, and then before 3 months finish, I'm like, I'm already back there. And it's like
We go, well, let's be strong, boy.
we cannot help it, and I wish for you what I always wish for me. That people continue to, because I don't always get that, but people continue to embrace you and the kind of creative you are, because when you have that level of skill and that level of knowledge and understanding and determination and willpower, you don't get that. You can't teach that to people.
Mm.
You can't teach that to people. And when you have somebody who is just fearlessly ambitious in
Yeah.
everything, you need to embrace those things. And when people like Jade come to you and say, I have an idea, you're supposed to drop everything and say, how can I help you fund it? And I'm putting
Wow.
that
Thank
out
you.
there into the atmosphere, because I know it's very difficult for us creatives to get that respect. And we get a lot of
Yeah.
resentment and not
Mhm.
respect, because people
Yeah.
say, oh, who the hell she thinks she be? You know?
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of who do we think we be. We know who we are. And this is
Yes.
why we can come out in this world in the way that we do. And I want to encourage you, and I want to tell you, keep doing the damn thing.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing the damn thing. And you know, you just make me so proud, eh? Let me tell you, when you see you do,
Oh,
it's been like I had all my cousins follow you. All my cousins,
really?
all of them.
Oh, and I feel the same about you. Like every time I see you do something, I'm like, of course. Like I can't describe to you when I saw you in the Caribbean Music Awards. Like I was fangirling. I was like,
Why wouldn't I? Like, why would the Grammys next? But when y'all see me, I'll be just a guest. I'll be a guest. I'll just be an invited guest.
hey,
Look out.
we'll take it. We'll take. I was so proud. I was like, yes, the world, everybody needs to know who Jael is.
They will. They will. Whether
Yeah.
they want
I
to.
want an award for my video coming.
Jade, you're the best. We absolutely love you, and thank you for agreeing to do this. I know you have a
Of
big
course.
schedule, and I know you got lots going on, and I'm
Yes.
totally appreciative of your time and
Oh,
your
always a
vibe,
pleasure.
and bringing your energy, bringing your spirit, and just warming our hearts here this evening. Vanessa, always a
Vanessa!
fan, always super proud of you.
I
Um,
love her.
Somebody
Shout out
said
to Carrie
I've been
FM.
watching and getting hyped up by JL. Gives me great ideas. Being hyped up by JL gives me great ideas. Um, Thank you very much, Jade.
Thank you so much for having me. I had fun.
Jade, you want to say something? Finally, like you want to finally?
Yes. Let me tell all you something. Be very freaking stubborn about your dreams and your goals. Don't let anybody say no to you and bet on yourself. Okay? Bon.
Drops mic. Exits. Guys, I didn't tell her that I was going to give all your good show. Why don't you just play with me? I don't play with me. Huh? Jade the Great. You said the Gemini, but she's the Great, right? Thank you so very much, Jade, for this. And thank you, all of you who came on and stayed tuned and, connected and shared. Those of you who shared, that is so important. Did you share the live? Did you hit that share button? Yes, you are watching you. Did you hit share and share with somebody else so people can see and know exactly what we have here, what we have in Dominica, what we have in the Caribbean? Because we're part of the Caribbean, and I really appreciate every single one of you for the time out on your Wednesday evening to check us out, and I want to say thank you in a huge way to my sponsors. Let me tell you, my sponsors, without them, let me tell you, I at some point in time I wanted to stop doing this, but the sponsor said no, you're not stopping, and I've continued. And as creatives, we need that. We need to our bills. We doesn't eat air. Our bills need to get paid, right? And when Dom want to cut the lights, they will cut it. No, no apologies, right? So I want to say thank you in a big way to Dominican National Lottery. Thank you to the National Cooperative Credit Union. Thank you to HHV Richards, the agents for Caribbean. And thank you in a big way to Home Base Limited. Thank you very much, guys, for the support. And if you want to be part of the show, if you want to be a sponsor, we're going to be grabbing new sponsors from December. So if you want to be part of this, just reach out to us. You can send me a message. You can send me a message right on here. You can send me a message on by email. My number is public knowledge. My executive assistant he answers all my messages, and he will be sure to connect you and give you whatever you need, in terms of whether or not you want to come on as a sponsor. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to every single one of you who came on. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, the Facebookers, y'all. I mean, I'm so appreciative of you. I'm so grateful for y'all, and thank you again for your support. Thanks to Jade. Jade is brilliant. Jade is just brilliant. Y'all saw what all you saw. You see there? That was our team also. That was not even the entirety. Because listen, if she had to come there and just drop some gems on you, that we'll leave that for another day. When Rebel comes out, we'll have Jade come back on. We'll have a come back on. We probably might invite Isaac Ramirez as well. You never know. Guys, it's my time. I'm saying good night and saying thank you again to every single one of you. I appreciate you guys. Much love wherever you are. And I will be back tomorrow, not at the late time. I'll be back smack dead in the middle of the day to give you my update to my weight loss review. See my neck? See my neck? Go for that neck. Oh, someone just give me 500 stars for my neck to bust. Thank you, Juliana, for the 500 stars. I love you. My neck. Woo. We're going to talk tomorrow. I'm going to leave you with a few words from my sponsors. Thank you very much, guys.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job whatever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. In your blast jackpot rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive jackpot.
It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming. From the cradle to the grave, you don't have to be no slave. You need a loan you want to save. Welcome and visitors today. Hey, with a commitment to quality. Therefore you and me was one big family, but now it's a community. True. Making life easy. Yes. Like ABC. Don't matter who you are, you can benefit. When you bring your mortgage
With rates as low as 5% and loans for all your needs.
open an MRA,
Save for your golden years and take advantage of our savings products.
we will finance your business.
Checking accounts, small business loans, wire transfers, and so much more.
MCCU all the way. Wow!
Your community financial partner.
NCCU.
Caribe Hard Cider. Moments made extraordinary.
Hello, my name is Marlies Rock, founder of Homebase Limited. Better known these days as the Thai Lady in Dominica. We are tile importers from various countries such as Italy, Brazil, Mexico, and China. We've been in the market for the past 18 years, and we've grown to be the #1 tile company in Dominica. I'd love to get it across that it's not just buying a tile because that's the amount of money you have left from the building. Tiles are the things used most in the house, and it's an investment you're putting your money into that should last you hopefully no less than 20 years. Our staff are well trained. The length of time they've been working in Homebase, some as much as 15 years. They have acquired knowledge which the ordinary person would not give an eye to, as to the texture of the tile, the warmth of the tile, the size of the tile, and the areas it's most suited for. Our main store is at 94 Independence Street, Roseau, and our warehouse is at Kinfield Industrial Site.